The call came at 2:17 a.m., and the voice on the other end belonged to Marcus's mother. The problem? She had been buried 3 days earlier. What happened after that call would leave Marcus questioning whether love ever truly ends, or if it simply finds another way to reach us. But to understand how that moment happened, we have to go back to the night everything began to shift. Marcus Hale hadn't slept properly in days. Grief didn't come loudly for him. It came quietly, like a room slowly losing oxygen. 3 days earlier, he had stood beside a grave, watched as the casket descended, listened to people say things like, "She's in a better place." But none of it touched the silence that followed him home. His apartment felt unfamiliar now, still, disconnected. He sat on the edge of his bed, staring at his phone. No missed calls, no messages. For years, there had always been one constant, his mother, Ruth Hale. She had a way of calling at the exact moment you needed it, even when you didn't realize you did. Marcus leaned back slowly, exhaling. 2:17 a.m. The phone rang. His eyes opened instantly. He frowned. No one called at this hour. The screen lit up the room, and then his breath caught. "Mom?" The name glowed softly. Marcus sat upright. "No," he whispered. The ringing continued, steady, unhurried. His hand hovered above the phone. Every logical thought told him not to answer. But something deeper, quieter, pulled him forward. He answered. "Hello?" Silence. Then, "Marcus?" His chest tightened. It was her voice, clear, gentle, exactly the way he remembered. "This isn't possible," he said, barely breathing. "Listen to me," the voice said softly. "You need to check on Elena." Marcus froze. "What?" "She's not okay," the voice continued. "Go, now." His heart pounded. "Mom?" But the line went dead. Marcus didn't move. The silence after the call felt heavier than anything before it. He looked down at his phone. Call ended, 00:18 seconds. His pulse quickened. No, that's not," he muttered. He opened the call log. There it was. Incoming, Mom. But that couldn't be real. He had stood at her grave. He had watched them lower her into the earth. He had felt that moment close like a door. So how could she? His thoughts stopped. Elena. The message hadn't been random. It had been specific. Go now. A strange unease settled over him. Not panic, something deeper, like a quiet warning. He thought back. Elena hadn't answered his calls earlier. He had assumed she needed space. Grief did that. But now... Marcus stood abruptly. "This is crazy," he said, but his hands were already reaching for his jacket, his keys. His mind raced. What if something's wrong? He paused at the door, looked back at the phone. Dark, silent, normal, as if nothing had happened. Marcus swallowed, then stepped out into the night. The road felt longer than usual. Every red light seemed to hold him longer. Every second stretched. Marcus gripped the wheel tighter. The voice echoed in his mind. Not distorted, not distant, alive. "Check on Elena." He pressed the gas slightly harder. "Please be okay," he whispered. The streets were nearly empty. Streetlights flickered across the windshield. Then something struck him. the tone. It wasn't just her voice. It was the certainty behind it. The same tone she used when she knew something, when she would say, "Trust me." And somehow, she was always right. His chest tightened. He turned onto Elena's street. Her apartment building stood in darkness. No lights, no movement. A knot formed in his stomach. He parked quickly and stepped out. Cold air hit his face. He barely noticed. Something was wrong. He could feel it now. He ran up the steps, knocked hard. "Elena!" No answer. He knocked again. "Elena, open the door!" Silence. His heart raced. He reached for the handle. It turned. Unlocked. "Elena!" The apartment was dark. Still. Too still. Marcus stepped inside slowly. "Elena!" Nothing. Then, a faint sound. Uneven breathing. He followed it, into the living room, and froze. Elena lay on the couch, unconscious. A bottle of pills scattered across the floor. "No," Marcus whispered. He rushed forward. "Elena! Hey! Hey!" No response. Her skin felt cold. Too cold. His hands shook as he grabbed his phone. "My sister, she's not waking up. Please." The operator spoke calmly, but Marcus barely heard, because something else surfaced. The voice. "She's not okay." It had known. Marcus gripped her hand. "Stay with me," he whispered. Sirens approached. Seconds dragged. Then, her fingers moved. Marcus leaned in. "Elena?" A shallow breath. Then another. Relief hit him all at once. "You're okay. You're okay." Paramedics rushed in, but one thought stayed with him. If that call hadn't come, he wouldn't be here. Elena survived. Doctors said it had been close. Too close. Another hour, and things could have been different. Marcus sat beside her hospital bed. She stirred, opened her eyes slowly. "Marcus?" "I'm here," he said softly. Tears filled her eyes. "I didn't think anyone would come." He swallowed. "I almost didn't." She looked at him. "Then why did you?" Marcus hesitated. "I got a call." "From who?" He met her eyes. "Mom." Elena didn't look surprised. She looked still. "I heard her too," she whispered. Marcus froze. "What?" "When I was fading, I heard her say, 'Hold on, he's coming.'" Silence filled the room, heavy, full. Later, Marcus checked his phone. The call log was still there, but when he tried to trace it, nothing. No number, no record, just silence. Marcus never explained it. He stopped trying. Because some things don't come to be explained. They come to remind us that love doesn't always end when we think it does. Some people will say it was coincidence. Others will believe something unseen was guiding that moment. What do you think? Have you ever experienced something you couldn't explain? Tell us in the comments, and follow Lanes and Lanterns for more stories where the unseen meets the unforgettable.